In the time skip, Boruto, Kawaki, and the rest of Team 7 will have to fight greater opponents than they have fought in the past, as Kaguya, Momoshiki, and Isshiki have all been killed and dealt with. So the next Otsutsukis that will be sent here will be the real deal, and for Boruto and his friends to be able to protect this planet, they will have to get stronger and they will have to gain new abilities to allow them to protect the people that they love. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the abilities and new powers that they will awaken to protect the people that they love. We're going to be discussing Boruto, Kawaki, Mitsuki, and Sarada's abilities that they will gain during their time skip training. So first of all, there is a strong possibility that the time skip will take place in the next chapter due to the 4-month break that has been happening, and it seems like they have said that a new chapter has begun. Obviously, there's still this panel that still hasn't been shown, and I don't know how they're going to discuss it, but there is still a strong possibility that the next chapter or the chapters that will come after it, the time skip will take place. So we have to discuss what abilities we think that Boruto, Kawaki, Mitsuki, and Sarada will get. So let's start off with Boruto and the potential route that he will go through. We know that Boruto is an Otsutsuki, which means that he could definitely go down the route of him developing Shinjutsu abilities. But I also think due to him being the last shinobi, quote unquote, he could also go down the path of developing new ninjutsu abilities. So I think that we could have a combination of both Boruto learning ninjutsu techniques and Shinjutsu abilities. So the first thing we have to talk about is the ninjutsu based abilities that Boruto could awaken in the future. So first of all, Boruto in the time skip will definitely master the rest of the chakra natures that he doesn't already have. I think he already has 3, which are water, wind, and lightning, and he has to master fire and earth. So probably in the time skip, he would have mastered all of these different abilities during his time of training. But we all know that he has to develop his own lightning based attack, as we have seen the foreshadowing between Sasuke teaching him this attack. And since we have Boruto in the time skip who is going to be training with Sasuke, this leaves the perfect opportunity for him to awaken such abilities. But let's first discuss if it could actually be the Chidori, because in the past I was quite reluctant of Boruto awakening the Chidori, because we have seen Sasuke tell Boruto that he will never be able to awaken such an ability. Why? Because he doesn't have the Sharingan. And we know through Kakashi that you can't really use the Chidori to his full potential without having the Sharingan, because you leave yourself open. But does Boruto really need the Sharingan to be able to use the Chidori? Because if you see in the fight that Momoshiki and Boruto had in the anime, you would see that Boruto using the Dragon was able to have precognition on a similar level to the Sharingan. So there's a possibility that we could see Boruto use the Chidori if he has the Dragon, and that all depends on Boruto being able to use and master his Dragon during the time skip. So if Boruto didn't master the Dragon in the time skip, it is unlikely that he would have learned the Chidori. So there's also a different possibility that we have to discuss just in case if Boruto doesn't master the Dragon, since we have not seen him use it in the manga. So the first possible ability that I want to discuss is a combination of the Chidori and the Rasengan. This has already taken place in the anime in one of the openings. I'm showing you guys this right now, and it's a pretty cool ability, and I think that it would match a bit of lightning and a bit of the Rasengan. That combination, I haven't really seen it happen, and Kakashi was trying to do this entire time, which led to him creating the lightning blade because he couldn't add a chakra nature to the Rasengan. And if Boruto is able to finally add a lightning based chakra nature to the Rasengan, it would actually be cool. But if Boruto isn't able to do that, I could definitely see him go down the purple lightning route, but there is a lower possibility of that happening. The main one I think will end up happening is Boruto combining the Chidori and the Rasengan and creating his own type of Rasengan. The next thing we have to discuss is probably the most anticipated thing for me: Boruto being able to fly. This is an ability that Amado has said that Boruto and Kawaki should be able to use in the near future. So in the time skip, I believe that Boruto will start tapping into some of these abilities because he is an Otsutsuki. And Boruto having some similar panels to Isshiki when he pulled up to the leaf is definitely going to be amazing. I can't wait to see Boruto have a panel where he destroys his enemy and then is menacingly in the air looking down on his opponent opponents with pity and sorrow is going to be amazing, and I definitely think that Boruto has to awaken it in the time skip. And also, if you did pay attention to Boruto versus Kawaki in the anime, where Momoshiki was taking control of Boruto, you would see that Momoshiki started flying using Boruto's body. So this is just a matter of time before Boruto finally learns to fly, and Kawaki does the same. The next thing that Boruto would definitely have and learn in the time skip is he'll finally get his sword, and he'll finally have this Sasuke-like fighting style where he uses his sword and goes crazy. In the past with Naruto, we have seen him only use a kunai, so it's good to finally have the MC have some type of swagger with some sword and go crazy. Personally, I think the sword fits Boruto a lot, and it's going to be interesting because in that short clip that we did see in the time skip, he is using it in a similar way to Sasuke, with just one hand. He doesn't use it in a two-handed fashion, he uses it with one hand just like Sasuke does because he kind of lost his arm. And the most important thing that we really have to see, and it's starting to piss me off that we haven't seen it happen yet, because Kawaki has started to awaken some of Isshiki's abilities, but we haven't seen Boruto do so. We have to see Boruto finally awaken some of Momoshiki's most broken abilities, because Momoshiki has some pretty broken abilities. We saw that Golem, we saw that Phoenix. Momoshiki's abilities are pretty cool, and if I don't get the chance of seeing Boruto use these abilities and go crazy and have to see Kawaki be the only one to do so, I will actually be pissed. And also stuff like Kinshiki's chakra weapon, because I personally believe that fused Momoshiki is in Boruto, Kinshiki's chakra weapon will definitely be essential, and Boruto will just be able to use any type of weapon because of Momoshiki's thousands of years of experience alongside Kinshiki. So Boruto learning to use his sword, it won't take him a lot of time due to the information that he already has to his disposal. But one of the coolest abilities that I've started to think about is Boruto being able to turn certain people or Otsutsukis into chakra fruits or just pills. The way I could see an ability like this working is Boruto defeats his opponents to the brink of death, and on some Momoshiki type of stuff like what he did to Kinshiki, he turns them into a chakra fruit or he turns them into pills and proceeds to consume them. I know a lot of people would say it doesn't fit Boruto's character, and you might be right, but this would be a cool ability if Boruto was able to possess it. Since he is an Otsutsuki, and since I have said before, I could definitely see Boruto learning some type of Shinjutsu based abilities, because Momoshiki, as we know, knows every single type of Shinjutsu. So I don't know if they team up in the future, I doubt that will happen, but they both want to survive, so Momoshiki might just have to resort to giving Boruto some key information or some key abilities that he could potentially use as an Otsutsuki, or he would just have the Dragon as his only Shinjutsu ability, which is basically still going to be broken. But now moving on to Kawaki. I personally believe that Kawaki will focus on the Shinjutsu path. Kawaki will go more on an Otsutsuki path where he focuses on having abilities that do not necessarily stem from ninjas. He will be able to fly like Boruto, and I won't lie, I know that Kawaki will have some disrespectful moments where he's going crazy, killing some type of Otsutsuki. Kawaki always has the best poses, always has the best quotes, always has the most disrespectful moments, and I definitely can see Kawaki flying, killing some type of opponent, disrespecting him, calling him ugly, calling him a pig like he did to Goro, and then proceeds to kill his opponent. But the thing that Kawaki has to worry about is his stamina and chakra control, because we have seen in the past Kawaki is always saying, man, I'm running out of chakra, I can't use all my different types of abilities. So Kawaki in the future will definitely have to work on his chakra control and stamina so that he is able to fight for a lot longer. And this all has to do with Kawaki mastering Isshiki's abilities. And I personally think that Isshiki might just have other abilities that he just didn't use because Jigen was an imperfect vessel. I personally believe that Isshiki has a lot of different abilities that Kawaki hasn't tapped into, because we have to talk about the 6 path abilities, and you obtain them by having the Rinnegan. Sasuke has them, and it incorporates a lot of different abilities. We've seen these abilities in the past with Pain going crazy, but we see that Isshiki has those similar symbols. He has those symbols on his back and in his outfit, but it's not 6 this time, it's actually 8. And we know that with the 6 path abilities, we're dealing with 6 different abilities, and Isshiki has 8 different tomoes on his outfit, so maybe he has 8 different abilities that Kawaki could be able to tap into. We have Sukuna Hikonen, and we have the Daiko Koden Dimension, and possibly a wish granting ability, which leaves 5 other abilities that Kawaki could potentially tap into. Maybe this is the case or maybe not, but I just hope he gains at least one ability from Isshiki that Isshiki didn't use in his fight versus Naruto and Sasuke. And I personally think a fire-based attack type of Shinjutsu will definitely be an ability that Kawaki should tap into, not only because he has a fire type chakra nature, but also because it suits him a lot. Kawaki is the destroyer type, and fire and red definitely go with this symbol that Kawaki demonstrates over and over again. So I definitely think it would be cool for him to have this type of attack in his arsenal. But now let's discuss Mitsuki. And Mitsuki is a little complicated because we all thought that he was going to be some type of Otsutsuki and that he was based on Tenori's abilities. But through Ida, we have seen that this is not really the case. Maybe he has Otsutsuki abilities, but he doesn't have a large percentage of this DNA because he's affected by Ida's charms and omnipotence. So we know that he is not an Otsutsuki, so he will not go down the Otsutsuki path. But we all know that his main abilities is going to be him using the Sage Mode, and he has to master and be able to use it on a consistent basis in the time skip, because we have seen this especially in the anime that when Mitsuki uses his Sage Mode, it starts to damage his physical body, which has led to him almost dying in the past and having to use some different type of body. So I definitely think that in the time skip, he would have mastered the Sage Mode and be able to use all of its abilities in general. I believe that most of his abilities will stem from the Sage Mode. We have seen a lot of his abilities being snake based, like the ones he used versus Boruto when he was mad, and I personally think that the Sage Mode might act as a multiplier. So if Mitsuki improves his base stats, they will all drastically increase due to the multiplier that the Sage Mode might end up being. But the most important thing for Mitsuki and for him to be important in the future is for him to have an ability that allows him to do damage to Otsutsukis. That's the one thing that he is missing. He is missing an ability that allows him to be more useful because we're going to be tapping into more Otsutsuki based villains and opponents. So if Mitsuki wants to be helpful in the future, he is definitely going to have an ability that cannot be absorbed so that he could do damage to Otsutsuki's. So the next one we have to talk about is Sarada. And a lot of people are mad that Sasuke doesn't end up teaching her or being her master in the time skip. But I think this is intentional because of the ability that she will get. First of all, we have to talk about her Mangekyo Sharingan because we have seen her awaken it in the most recent chapter, in chapter 80. We don't know the abilities, but we know it's going to be broken. She needs to master these abilities and then she will definitely be a useful ally in the future. But where she will turn into an unstoppable beast is when she taps into the Byakugo seal. And this is why I believe Sarada did not leave with Sasuke and Boruto, because she is going to stay in the village and learn how to use the Byakugo seal by having her train with Sakura. They will train together. We will see Sarada awaken the Byakugo seal and have that in the middle of her forehead, which is definitely going to be interesting. We're going to see how it's going to work alongside her Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, how the healing property is going to work. Maybe she might not need the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan because she's just going crazy on a daily basis and has her healing abilities which counter the negative aspects of the Mangekyo Sharingan. But the next thing we have to see her have is the Susanoo. The Susanoo is going to be a crazy ability for Sarada because I personally don't think that she is going to have any type of wings or a sword. We have never seen Sarada use a sword. She is going to have some type of boxing gloves, as we know that she is the short range type, a bit like her mother, and she's going to probably have multiple arms. I personally think that she will have a Susanoo that is a light color, like maybe light pink or a bit of golden, to represent that she doesn't have a lot of hatred, just like Akashi's Susanoo was light blue because he doesn't have a lot of hatred compared to the likes of Sasuke, whose Susanoo was dark purple. So I personally believe that she will have a Susanoo with multiple arms, probably pink or golden, that will have either boxing gloves or just be some short range type of Susanoo that goes crazy on the ground. But just like Mitsuki, she needs an ability that allows her to do damage to Otsutsukis. This is why you have to watch this video right here, as one of her Mangekyo Sharingan abilities will allow her to defeat Otsutsuki's.